Welcome to the Fantasy Football House. We are halfway, well, we're more than halfway out of week six here. We're preparing ourselves for week seven while week six finishes up here on Monday Night Football. Guys, how's everybody doing? I'm joined by the usual cast of characters here, Craig and Dustin and myself, Josh. How's everybody doing?
I could be better right now. Diggs and Allen are killing me.
Uh, Same. Luckily, I have digs, so I just got to worry about Allen. But yeah, it's coming down to the wire. Ask me in about 30 minutes.
I'm in a lot better position than last week around this time, guys, where I wanted to rage quit fantasy football. Uh, I lost my matchup while we were on air. That was embarrassing. Um,
I think that's part of like the forthcoming of being in fantasy football, though, is you got to have that rage quit moment. So, welcome to
yeah,
fantasy, sir.
I don't know
No,
how many times I said I was quitting fantasy football in my life.
right.
Well, today, guys, we're gonna of course get into waiver wires here on the second half of the show. The first half I want to get into is, and it'll tie into waivers here, is the Browns running back situation. Now have we already knew Kareem Hunt was out this last week. He missed. I'm sorry, Nick Chubb was out last week, and then so it was running with just Kareem Hunt, and then he gets injured. His injury is looking 4 to 6 weeks. Possible stint on the IR coming for him. Um, oh, now we're looking at some backups because they turn around and they play here on Thursday night. Guys, it's the case here for either Felton or Demetrius Johnson, I believe is his name.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Dearnest.
Dearness,
Ernest,
that's right.
thank you. Craig, would you go with if you had to pick somebody right now? And would you ride with one of them on Thursday?
Um, I think I'm leaning more towards Dearnest Johnson, but I think a lot of it has to do more with your situation. So I lost Hunt in 2 leagues. In one of them, I had just lost CEH the week before, so I'm thin. I'm real thin. Um, One of them, I was like, cool, I'll just play Tony Pollard. Never mind, Cowboys are on a bye. So I've already seen the rookie he was picked up when the Chubb news broke. And I want to say I saw a couple people picking up Johnson too. So I think how bad I need a running back with fab money factored in. I mean, I'm going to put bids on whoever there is, and I might just be rolling the dice and throwing somebody out there personally. For the leagues I don't need a running back, yeah, I would. Chubb should be back this week, maybe next. I mean, it's not going to be forever, so I wouldn't
Yeah.
spend a whole lot of fab on anybody.
Dustin, how are you
Yeah,
picking?
I mean, I think I'm right there with Craig. I mean, it all depends on your situation. Do you want them being your top back? No, um, plain and simple. But if you're in a have to have it type league where running backs are scarce,
How many
uh,
teams are on a bye this week?
I think it's 8.
there's a lot. Week 7
It's
was
the,
like
it's the
the big,
most.
yeah.
Yeah, big kahuna.
Good ones, right? Cowboys, Vikings.
All my players play on the Vikings. That's my troubles. Uh, yeah, it's all. I think the Rams too.
Yeah.
Um,
But I mean,
yeah,
I
if I
I know the Browns. They favor that rookie they have. Um, but I think you got to go Johnson. Just for he kind of fits the Browns mold better.
Yeah, I want to lean towards Johnson too, but like Craig was saying, in 12-man leagues, these guys were getting scooped up, either Johnson or Felton, before we started off the Sunday game. So just be aware of that. You might not be able to find them out there, but I also wouldn't go crazy on either guy, either money wise, if you can, because it's only going to be a 1 week fill in. Because like Craig had mentioned, also Chubb should be back possibly this week, but for sure the next week is what
If
it's looking like.
if one of the running backs gets some volume in that Hunt role, if Chubb's not going to get all the work, so between Johnson, Felton, somebody's going to be involved. But because you don't know who it is, I mean, you can basically just make a fab bid, 7 or 8% or whatever the case may be for yourself on one of the running backs that you prefer, and then you could always just go a little bit less on the other running back in hopes that maybe you get both, maybe you get one, but it's just a lottery ticket, at this point you don't know who it's going to be.
Well, I'm feeling like Willy Wonka here, man, and I want to see, is this the golden ticket? And we're gonna roll into the waiver wire part of the episode here, and are they going to be my lotto ticket? Is that my number one fab play this week? Is one of these Brown running backs? Are we looking elsewhere?
I would look elsewhere. You ain't getting into the Willy Wonka chocolate factory with these running backs. I mean, they're great, but I just think there's better options this week's waiver wire. So
Alrighty, well let's start running through some of the guys. What's my options then, Dustin? Tell me. I'm optionless.
I mean, I think the top two, have to be J.D. McKissick and Michael Carter. With Antonio Gibson's on again, off again injuries this season, J.D. McKissick is a solid play. If he's still available in the leagues, go and get him.
I'm calling it his shenanigans. His shenanigans? His shenanigans? Because it's his shin? I don't know, guys.
I like it.
I'm a dad.
Yeah.
Bad jokes. Greg, are you kind of on the same page there? I mean, if McKissick is out there, I agree. If Michael Carter's out there, I agree. I mean, these are top guys, but who else are you staring at, I guess, especially in the running back room this week, or who's going to be your target?
Well, all the leagues I'm in, McKissick's already owned. I don't think you're gonna find anything there. No, man, I don't really have any names right now. I haven't come up. I mean, Osborne got into the end zone. Minnesota's on the bye. I looked around for running backs earlier, and I mean that's a deep league, but there's nothing.
Yeah.
I would throw out Stevenson's name, Ramonde Stevenson, in case that he's available in some 10-team leagues for sure. I've seen him out there, but 12-team is where it gets pretty scarce. Other than that, we'll roll into wide receivers because you either go with the two Browns running backs, you get. What are we thinking about this other running back for the Redskins, guys? You're saying J.D. McKissick already has his defined role. This guy would fill in for Gibson's role that he has. What are we feeling about him?
I don't think he's gonna come in and be able to. Like McKissick's the guy, McKissick's gonna get the targets. McKissick's gonna get, 6 to 10 carries. So
Especially if Gibson is out.
Yeah. Is it worth throwing a dollar bid out there on him, like putting him on your team, see what happens? His name is Jeanette Patterson, something like that, I believe.
Yeah, no, if it's depending on your running back situation and how your bye weeks are shaking out, I mean, yeah, throw a dollar at a lot of guys, really, but
I mean, even I personally wouldn't even throw a dollar at it. Let the waiver wire week pass. If he's still available, go get him for free.
Yeah.
Any guys that possibly could have been dropped this last week before we transition over here to the wide receivers that might be out there?
I got Elijah Mitchell.
Okay.
One league, somebody dropped him. I couldn't believe it. I don't know, 5%, I think, that I'm able to roster him. So now I'm on the fence. Do I trade for Chris Carson or do I trade for Trey Sermon? Just trying to get a backfield that I can have going forward.
I don't mean to kill your thunder on the 49ers backfield, but Jamal Hasty is eligible to return
And
this coming up
Wilson
week,
as
and
well.
also is my name is Jeff Wilson Jr.
My name.
Jamichael Hasty, and he's more of the third down pass catcher.
That's not a
And,
very nice thing to say.
and Jeff Wilson, they've already said is late November. I have him rostered in a few leagues. Dustin had picked him up. But they're saying that Wilson, the one that I'm worried about, the one that could come in and really just take over the role is Wilson, and he's not until the end of November. So yeah, no. Hey, you could always go get a Ravens running back.
That's
I
what I
mean,
was gonna say. The only issue with that is, I mean, I think one of the commentators said it this week is if you have experience, you're getting a touchdown. Like Le'Veon Bell scored. Uh, who
Well, Murray,
else?
okay, I guess let's dissect that real quick. Murray got hurt, so it's either going to be Bell, Freeman, or Williams.
Right,
Now it's just
and
figuring out who it is. Now, Freeman
right.
might get, as Craig had mentioned last week, or maybe it was on Friday, that Freeman's been getting some of the passing down work, so maybe that's the way to go, right? If anybody would take a swing, do we take a swing at Freeman?
me personally, yeah, I would go with Freeman.
Yep.
Better chance he's out there than Williams, too. Um, Well, let's transition into some of these wide receivers, guys. Do we have any targets out there this week? Um,
Not
man
that
of the
it's anything, but they had Williams again as a healthy scratch, man. Like as much as I want that rookie to be the guy, I mean, I feel like he's got the most explosion out of all of them, but I don't know. Maybe it's pass protection. I don't know. But for some reason they keep benching him on game days. That's so weird. He looks like the best player touching the ball.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you know we mention it for our fantasies. You know, depending on your running back situation, when you have a healthy guy like that is explosive and young, and you know your running back situation isn't great, and then you healthy scratch him, that's saying a lot.
Yeah.
I'll throw out some names here on some wide receivers. Y'all let me know what y'all think. The man of the people, Donovan People Jones. What do we think about him, guys? While I get another name lined up, are we throwing any money out more than $1 for him, or we think this is a 1 week wonder and don't mess around with this on Thursday night when they play?
Well, Dustin, they still got Jarvis Landry, right? He came back last week.
Well,
Uh,
he's eligible to get taken off of the. I mean, you have 21 days to activate him. He came off the IR to put him onto the active roster. From my knowledge, they did not move him to the active roster. They could still do that before Thursday, of course, but they didn't do it this last week.
I don't know, man. If Baker Mayfield's got his arm in a sling, Landry could play, might not play. I mean, I would, I would, I would definitely put the name up at the top of the list if you were needing something, but I can't imagine it being more than just a week plug and play type.
Right, I'm right there with him. I mean, if you watched the game, the majority of his yards came from a
That Hail
Hail
Mary.
Mary
Yeah.
that he just somehow came down with. OBJ was probably Baker's main target. I know a lot of people aren't high on him right now. If you do have a chance to trade for him or possibly even pick him up if somebody was stupid enough to drop him, you know, definitely that looks like it's going to be his number one target when he comes back healthy.
This next wide receiver I'm going to name right now gets the award for being on the list every single week on the waiver wire, and his name is Tim Patrick. Nobody likes him, but he just keeps putting up solid numbers. Is anybody going to put Tim Patrick on their team this week, guys? Eric shakes his head no.
I mean, I played against him and he put up 12 points.
He solid 12 points every single
And
time.
he has been, as far as this year's fantasy goes, he's probably been one of the most solid
Solid,
players.
yeah.
I mean, 3 of the 6 weeks he came in at least one touchdown, and when he's not putting up the touchdowns, he's breaking the yards. So, I mean, he's
Greg?
somebody to look at.
No on Tim Patrick, sir.
No, I'm good with that.
Patrick, I hope Tim Patrick haunts you in his dreams as you have said no to him 7 weeks in a row now, sir. T.Y. Hilton, guys, he made a grand return and then made a grand exit again. But you're saying it doesn't look like anything serious, so he should be back out there again next week. What's our fill-ins on T.Y. Hilton? As I did forget to mention, Paris Campbell is going to be out for quite a bit of time. He had a serious injury that happened. Now it's just back to Pittman and possibly Hilton there.
I like it. I'd rather go with that than Peoples-Jones. So
What about it?
That I know he might not make it but a few games before some kind of, well, this was a quad injury, so if that lingers or something, but no, man, and I know it's the Texans, 4 targets, 4 catches, 80 yards, but no, I'm if I can add him for just a few dollars a fab, then I'm gonna definitely try to.
I'm not too high on him. I mean, as Josh has called him, Mr. Glassman. I mean, he balled out this week, but he's one of those quarterbacks that one week balls out, the next week it's like he's
Justin, we're going to have a conversation about this right now, and it involves Chase Claypool.
Yes, sir.
Guy is a freak.
He is.
Athletic, off the charts, jumps out of the gym, just crazy athlete. I'm trying to figure out why he wasn't better last night in the game without Juju around. And I'm not saying that it can't happen still, but I definitely question the route running. So something's got to be there that he's not, because the dude's a freak.
Absolutely.
Just get it in his area and he should catch it, But so there's something there that I can't figure out. It's the exact same thing with Michael Pittman. Now, I traded Pittman away early in the season for peanuts. That was a mistake on my part. I then just traded him away for Hollywood Brown, and I definitely feel good about that, even with Brown having a bad week. But I just don't respect Pittman enough. And even last season, there were a lot of games with Phillip Rivers that they were manufacturing touches. I haven't seen this season with Wentz in the Frank Reich offense. I have not seen Pittman really kind of separate himself, other than the targets, of course. But nothing screams like he's going to hang on to the job. Now, his physical nature, of course, he's very similar to Claypool in that aspect. Is it possible that if T.Y. can just stay healthy, that it's more of a 1-2 punch, that Pittman's not the only show in town now?
I mean, it's definitely possible. In my opinion, it all has to do with the quarterback situation. Mm-hmm. I mean, both situations, the quarterbacks are healthy, then they're not, then they're healthy, then they're not. And it just seems like it kind of lets the player down, at least from my opinion. Claypool, Roethlisberger's like, let's go get it this year, and then week one he's out. And I just think it's that relationship. It's just not there. You see, players like Tim Patrick balling out this year with what we would consider a second string quarterback, and Tim Patrick probably a third or fourth string on any other team. But he's balling out because there's that relationship there. Yeah. And with Pittman and Claypool, I just don't think it's there.
Yeah.
All right, this is how it goes. Carson Wentz is glass.
Yep.
T.Y. Hilton is glass. When you put glass and glass together, it shatters. There's my theory.
Or it makes diamonds. No, just...
I was about to say, wait. I know it breaks, but it also does something else, or no? Diamonds. Okay, that's a joke.
tight ends. I will like to say
Like black volcano glass? Like is that
I think it's
diamond?
because of lava.
I don't know.
Because they're
That the
fine.
heat when you heat it up. We're gonna sound like a bunch of idiots if people are actually listening to this and commenting.
It
They're gonna
takes a
be
lot
like,
of
"Do
pressure.
these guys go to school?
Right.
Are they even near a volcano?"
We're not.
Ricky Sills Jones, guys. This guy was on the field for almost 100% of all the plays. And put up a decent stat line. Got a touchdown, got 56 yards, a couple catches. If he's still out there, guys, we won't discuss this one too much. Just go get him.
Go get him.
Yeah.
I got
AJ
bowed
Green, if he's
down
out there,
to Craig. I
and he hasn't
challenged
been.
him, and
Oh,
he won. So
Miko Hardman, AJ Green, all these guys, if they're still out there, go get them. Another big one. Michael Gallup. If for some reason we mentioned this on Friday's episode, if somebody dropped him, make sure you pick him up. Rashad Bateman, same thing. If nobody's picked him up yet, he should be the number one wide receiver on waivers this week if he has not been picked up. We mentioned Devontae Freeman, Le'Veon Bell, those kind of guys. You want to take that kind of risk. What do we feel about Rashad Penny? And I'll kind of end it there, and then we can throw maybe some quarterbacks out. There's a
Stranger things have happened.
He's eligible to be activated off of the IR this week and could play, from what Pete Carroll makes it sound like.
I mean, coming out of college, I was all for this guy. I mean, he was a beast. He was a lot like Benny Snell Jr. Third, fourth down, you knew it was going to him, and defenses just could not stop him. I think he holds the record for San Diego State University still to this day. So I mean, he's just a beast. Unfortunately, he hasn't been able to stay healthy since he's been in the league.
I would not 30% maybe at most. I don't think I would go more than 10 or 20 tops. Like I just
Yep.
Dustin said it, man, and Alex Collins isn't like maybe Penny gets it this week, but I think by the next week it's right back to 60-40 with Collins leading the way. I have Penny in my IR spot in a lot of those leagues. Kind of just the way it shook out, if I had traded for Chris Carson because I rostered Alex Collins, so then I went and stashed Penny on my bench. And now it's coming out that Carson's on IR and Collins is banged up, and it's like, well, it's got to be Penny's job. But
When you watch the game and it's DJ Dallas, it's also Homer. Like, dude, they like to use a lot of running backs every time Chris Carson goes down. That's my worry.
well, Collins is seeing a good chunk of this backfield, but Collins is a different player than the ones we're talking about now. I think
Yeah.
Collins, when he was in Baltimore, he did well. The Seattle wanted him, went and got him.
Honestly, watching the game last night, it brought back memories of beast mode. Like, he looked a lot and ran a lot like him.
Right. I don't know if after Collins, I don't think they lean on Penny. I guess Josh has got that correct. I don't. But somebody's got to have the bulk of it, and I would think that it would go to Penny. I don't think they're going to let DJ Dallas or Homer, not when they've got a former first round pick healthy.
Right.
So they've got to give him an opportunity. I don't think it's going to be a 30-30 backfield. It's going to be a 50-25-25 type role. So Penny's going to get the bulk, but what he does with it and for how long, if he's free or cheap, go for it. But other than that, I wouldn't spend a whole lot of money. I sure as heck wouldn't count on it either.
Right. And usually with the Dallas, who's the other one? Dallas
Homer.
Homer. It's usually a design play for them. some sort of trick play that they blow up on and get 30, 40 yards, but usually it's a design play for them. So I'm right there with them. I think it's got to be 50, 25, 25 or something in that nature.
If we want to throw out one more name real quick, and then we'll do a real quick recap of our take it to the bank starter of the weeks, and we'll let everybody know how they went. My last name I'll throw out is I watched a lot of this Colts game. I don't know why, but they had it on this game a lot. Mo Alley Cox. For some reason, this dude just keeps getting end zone targets. Another touchdown. I mention him every single week. He's like a giant out there. Um, I don't know. I just saw him involved a lot out there. So, and Carson Wentz kept looking his way. So, might have been after Ty went down and then he got more love. But, alrighty, guys. Well, Dustin, give us a recap of your starter of the week. Have to remind everybody who it was. And
I don't remember.
you don't remember?
No.
Was it that bad?
Yeah, probably.
Was it Chase Claypool?
I know one of them was, yeah. And
I don't remember mine either.
I mean, we talked about it. Claypool. There's something going on in that offense, and he's just not meshing well.
I'm pretty sure I said J.D. McKissick. I think that's who I said.
You said J.D. McKissick?
That's a lie. I'm just saying that, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, I don't think so. I know y'all poo-pooed mine because I said DeAndre Swift, yeah. And I called for 2 touchdowns. He only got 1. Y'all said, hey, like it should be somebody that's like, down a big name in the top 5 or 10.
Yeah. No, you named off a really good running back who gets a lot of touches.
But I did swing for 2 touchdowns, though, guys.
Well, yeah. Yeah, no, it counts as the start of the week if you're calling your shot on the touchdowns. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, this week, I'm going to go with...
Oh, you're already gonna name it? You don't want to give yourself a little time, sir?
Well, I was really just going to make a joke that if McCaffrey's on IR, Dalvin Cook and Zeke are on buys, so then I'll go with Eckler.
Oh, it's like to be the number 1 running back of the week, bounce back week 2.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns.
Hey, there you go.
1 rushing, 1 receiving. Does that count?
Yeah. Hey, I think they're gonna play really well. I can't believe that game, by the way. Just a random. We were excited about this game. We're like, hey, 2 hot teams coming in against each other. This can be huge. And then Baltimore just made them look bad.
Yeah, it was supposed to be 40-38, and Baltimore did theirs. I mean, they put up their end.
There were a lot of good games this week, as far as well played, down to the wire. That Cowboys game.
Oh, it was amazing. Other than we got screwed a bunch and we put ourselves in a lot of bad situations, a lot of penalties.
I had a quick thought about the Cowboys game, and I don't want to go into too many details because obviously, a lot of our fans aren't Cowboys fans. But do y'all think the defense's presence has something to do with when Randall Gregory is on the field?
Randy Gregory?
Yeah.
Like you're saying they play better when he's on the field?
It just seems like, when he got in trouble and was out for a while, the defense kind of fell apart. And now that he's back, it's just like they picked up where they left off and they're that powerhouse of a defense again.
No,
he
he definitely
know
makes a big difference.
A lot of pieces have changed in between that time, but I wonder if there's something he brings to the locker room that just kind of solidifies, that defense.
I think it's him coming off the edge that solidifies the defense. I don't think, what was it, Robert Quinn last year?
2 years ago.
2 years ago?
Yeah.
We had to have somebody opposite of Lawrence last year. Somebody was doing something.
Maybe it was Quinn last year. I thought they mentioned he was already with the Bears, though, last year already.
And I feel like he went to the Bears this offseason if he had a good year with us and then he left. But I guess the point is you got to have two edge rushers. You have to have two. It can't just be one. You got to have one on each end. So with DeMarcus Lawrence and now Gregory doing something, and then they got Parsons rushing. I think that's what's helping the defense. I mean, there's downs where we have three guys who are getting after the quarterback, maybe not getting the sacks, but definitely hurrying them in their face. So I think that has a lot to do with it.
Gotcha.
Well, alrighty, guys. Well, we can put a cap on this episode here. I will like to throw out one real quick shout out though here at the end to Steven. We talk a lot of mess about him in our league, but he did on Sunday night have a beautiful baby girl.
Hey,
But he didn't do it, you know.
he didn't do
Might
nothing.
did, yeah, he didn't do nothing. He just stood there and probably cut the cord. But yeah, no, beautiful baby girl came into the world. So if y'all get a chance, y'all chat with him, tell him congratulations. But I'm rooting for him right now, man. He's down by 4 points. He has Henry and AJ Brown. So I get this man a win, like
Absolutely.
that'd be cool. Bringing a baby into the world.
He's already had enough celebrating.
With 3 championships.
Yeah, he's got 2 titles in this league, and he just had a little girl. He's fine. He doesn't need to win this. He can have a win next week.
Well, guys, we appreciate y'all joining us. Follow us here on YouTube. Subscribe, like at Fantasy Football House. On Twitter at FF House Show. And on Instagram at fantasy_football_house. Dustin, where can they follow you at on Twitter?
Nice guy gaming 16.
Greg.
True Blue the third. True Blue. I.
And myself at Playmakers with the Z88. It's about that 88 club, baby. Y'all see what CD did? He ain't playing.
Yeah.
Trade for him right now. Might be too late actually. We said trade for him a couple weeks ago, so
Yeah, it's too late now.
the boat's gone. Alrighty, guys. Y'all have a good night. Peace out. See y'all later on this week.
Leave your shoes at the door.